Coming up in the show, we've got another exciting look at the world of rally and off-road racing, with a roundup of action from round 3 of the Britpart British Cross Country Championship. Then, later in the show, we'll be counting down the top 10 most exciting drivers in British rallying this year, as voted by you, the special stage viewers. Welcome to Special Stage in round 3 of the Britpart MSA British Cross Country Championship from here in Scotland, where the teams have made their annual pilgrimage to Forest Lodge, notorious of course for the many punctures that occur all weekend. Martin Gold is not here after his close battle and fantastic victory last year against Steve Hyatt. So let's see who tops the leaderboards at the end of round 3. So, off to a good start and opening up a lead from the first run was Richard Kershel. It was an accident at this round last season that ended his championship, but that didn't seem to be affecting the Yorkshireman's pace this year. Still in its early stages of development, the Freelander-based special of Dan Lofthouse and Johnny Coonja was going well this weekend too. An early second place was a good indication of the car's ability on rough stages like these. With a dramatic improvement of the reliability issues that had plagued their campaign previously, Ian Mchale and Chris Hammond keep up this season's improved showing, ending the first few runs in third place. Gordon Monaghan and Stephen Matthews start the event with a good fourth place. Always a relief to get through these rough stages without a puncture. No problems at this stage for Justin and Louise Birchall either. Fifth place after 2 runs, with plenty of miles left to push for those top positions. Bob Seaman and Neil Wakefield were expecting to go well here. The car definitely suited to the stages and the crew developing well as the season goes on. 6th after run 2. Also fast from the start this weekend was Greg Mcleod, another to have been caught out on these stages in the past, though that clearly wasn't a distraction on his mind this weekend. Carl Gudgeon and Peter King start the day in 8th place. While Ryan and Chris Cook have a steady start in 9th position in the Defender. And Carl Duffield and Martin Conboy round off the early top 10 after run 2. Just outside the top 10 in 11th place was Mike Morrell, joined this weekend by Tony Coyd, swapping his usual driving role for the co-driver's seat alongside the man they call Bumpy. 12th place at this stage are Ian Bartlett and Justin Forden in the 3M 206. While Steve Smith and John Griffiths start the day in 13th place in the Focus M3. Ivan Dudley and Keith Tween head up a pair of Metro 6R4s in 14th place. With the second of those Metros currently residing in 15th, piloted by Phil Ibbotson and Will Jefferson. Points needed from this round to make up for their retirement at round 2. Kevin Gruce and Tim Chudbourne take 16th place after run 2. While Richard Green and Richard Griffiths are 17th in the Tomcat. Not a great start for Martin Cox and Paul Carson. Problems on run 2 causing them to drop down to 18th place. In the trophy rally, it was championship sponsor Brit Parts, Paul Meyers, who would open up the early lead. Tom and Richard Hipkiss taking second place in the Tomcat. Problems for Greg Morris and Bob Moulding following an off-stage excursion give them a maximum. The result? A drop down to third. While Vonnie Kempster has problems of her own on the first run, dropping her down to fourth position. In the clubman category, it would be Charlie Norman and Oliver Kinnell taking the lead over the morning's runs. With Bill Nixon and Jamie Knox taking second in the Desert Warrior. In the Freelander Challenge, Nick Lyons and Jonathan Rice take the lead on run 2. With Harry Sherrod and Ivor Heading hot on their heels in second. Tony Harris and Matt O'Hare a third. With Chris Ratter and Eddie Fernside experiencing a problematic first run to put them down in fourth at this stage. As we move on to the next few runs, it will be this man Dan Lofthouse on a push, comfortably taking the lead of the event now. This means for Richard Kershaw it's now second place, still with plenty of runs to put the pressure on the new leader. Ian Rochelle and Chris Hammond still occupy third position in the Millington, remaining strong at this stage. Fourth place was lucky, if not a strong performance from Gordon Monaghan and Stephen Matthews. That position in spite of the RS200 pair picking up a puncture on these loose stones. Time lost, but not enough to lose them the place. Justin and Louise Birchall still occupy fifth place. Problems on run 5 preventing any designs that husband and wife team may have had on climbing the results at this point of the race. Still in sixth place, Bob Seaman and Neil Wakefield suffer a puncture on run 4, costing them some time. And a similar story for Greg McLeod, who remains in 7th place. Ryan Cook jumps up a place into 8th now. While Ivan Dudley puts in a show of speed to jump up from 14th into 9th place. Ian Bartlett climbs up from 12th to round off the top 10 after run 5. Moving on to the final runs of the day now, and Dan Lofthouse would remain in control of the event in the new car, a good position to be in overnight. A push still needed in the morning though, to build up a comfort advantage to allow for the all too common Forest Lodge punctures. Still chasing Lofthouse and piling on the pressure was Richard Kershaw, second at the end of day 1. Ian Mchale and Chris Hammond remain in third. While Bob Seaman and Neil Wakefield move up a few positions on the leaderboard to end the first day of competition in 4th. Continuing his big push was Ivan Dudley, moving up now to 5th place. A move up 1 place into 6th would be a welcome change for Greg McLeod. And Ryan Cook is on a push once again into 7th now. Another man on the move, Steve Smith makes a jump from 13th into 8th to end the first day in a strong position. While Carl Gudgeon unfortunately loses a little time when the power steering fails on the car, 9th at the end of the day and welcoming the overnight break from wrestling with that steering wheel. So all that means Mike Moran and Tony Coyd round out the overnight top 10. But missing from the top 10, and indeed the results now, was Carl Duffield, retiring at the end of day 1. At the end of day 1 in the trophy rally, Paul Meyers would be in the lead in the Team Britpark car. With Tom and Richard Hipkiss holding on to that 2nd place. And more problems to add to the season tally for Greg Morris when the diff fails on the car. He finishes day 1 in 3rd. Just 1 crew left in the Clubman now, so that leaves Charlie Norman in the lead of the category. In the Freelanders, Chris Ratter would manage to get himself back on top going into day 2. With Nick Lyons and Jonathan Rice taking up 2nd place. Harry Sherrod and Ivor Heading round off the Freelander top 3. So on to day 2 now, and a look at how the event was wrapped up. In the Freelander Challenge, 3rd place would go to Harry Sherrod and Ivor Heading, with Nick Lyons and Jonathan Rice taking the runners-up spot in 2nd. But winners, despite their early problems, are Chris Ratter and Eddie Fernside. Still only 1 Clubman crew, but holding on, Charlie Norman and Oliver Kinnell take home the silverware. In the trophy rally, Bonnie Kempster and Simon Kerfoot take that 4th place. Kerfoot taking time out from his usual duties alongside Martin Gold. Tom and Richard Hipkiss dropped from the 2nd place they held all weekend into 3rd. And moving up into that 2nd spot, with the result good enough for 1st in class, were Greg Morris and Bob Moulding. But taking the win in the trophy rally this weekend was Britpark's Paul Meyers, this season's new car looking very strong so far. Retiring from the event at the start of day 2, Mike Moran was now using parts from his car to help out a fellow crew. Just a glimpse at the culture of the BCCC. So, of the finishers, it would be Ryan and Chris Cook who come home 16th. Good times all weekend came to nothing when they took a maximum time on the first run of day 2. Richard Green and Richard Griffiths finishing 15th, second in their class. And it hadn't been a good weekend for Martin Cox overall, but day 2 was better, finishing in 14th place. Kevin Bruce and Tim Chadbourne take 13th place after climbing the results over the course of day 1. And following broken steering and an off-road excursion at the end of day 2 for Justin and Louise Birchall, they would drop down to finish an uncharacteristic 12th place. A similar story for Gordon Monaghan. A maximum on the final run of day 2 drops him and Stephen Matthews down into 11th place in the M3-engined RS200. A top 10 finish for Phil Ibbotson and Will Jefferson. They also take the class win. Carrying a spare wheel for the first time in the car might have been a waste of effort, but it seemed to have been a good omen. Ian Bartlett and Justin Forden have a successful weekend to finish in 9th, first in class. And a good result for Carl Gudgeon and Peter King following their problems sees the pair take 8th overall. Steve Smith and John Griffiths have a final push to take 7th place and 3rd in class. While Ivan Dudley and Keith Tween lose a place and finish in 6th, second in their class. A welcome last-minute move up to 5th for Greg McLeod, who wins his class in the process. And a class win for Bob Seaman and Neil Wakefield would see them just missing out on the podium, but no doubt happy with 4th. Holding on to that 3rd place at the end of the event are Ian Mchale and Chris Hammond. More valuable championship points for the pair, the car significantly lighter following a puncture-strewn race.
Ian, your string of good results continues, but the car's taking its toll, isn't it?
Yeah, we had a couple of unlucky punches today quite early on in the course, and obviously the flailing rubber has just trashed the fiberglass and all the wheel arches and stuff. But you know, we've come 3rd, so we can't really complain, and I think we were beaten fairly and squarely. I think Dan and Richard are really on it this weekend, and some good racing.
Well, another podium after your win last time out must be great for the championship.
Yeah, it's just a lot of fun to be racing on Sunday and get all my laps in and just be competing. It's good, and the car's going well, and we've got a couple of little problems with it, but nothing that we can't sort out.
It might sound funny to the people at home to be hearing that, but you have had unreliability over the last couple of seasons, haven't you? It's really struggled to get the car to the end.
Yeah, we have. It's been a new car, and it was a lightweight car and lightweight project. So I think we've kind of realised that the sport's very difficult to have lightweight and reliability, in the same sentence. It just doesn't kind of work, I suppose. So we've beefed it all up, and we're getting some reliability and having some fun, so it's good.
Unable to take the fight to the leaders, but still showing that championship spark, Richard Kershaw would have to settle for 2nd. A good result at the end of an exciting battle.
Richard, a great result here in Scotland, better than last year anyway.
Yeah, a lot better than last year. We finished in one piece, so yeah, been a good weekend all in all, and 2nd place, good.
Return to the championship's going well.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, enjoyed it. We've got some new venues, and actually needed a break at the end of it all, and I'm enjoying it again this year.
Part of a bigger team as well this year. This must be quite fun, having the camaraderie of having the lads next to you when you pull into service.
Yeah, it makes life easy not having to fix everything yourself if there's anything to fix. It's certainly a bonus.
Well done on 2nd at what is a very notorious venue.
Very notorious, yeah. Thank you.
But taking the win this weekend in the new car are Dan Lofthouse and Johnny Coonja, the pair setting the pace out in front.
Dan, what a fantastic result. Third time out for the car. Victory here in Scotland.
Yeah, we're good, do. Pretty nerve-wracking going into the last stage. So easy to get a puncher and throw it all away. Just tried to keep it tidy and keep a good pace up and try and keep Richard at arm's length today, which we've successfully done for once.
We've all been talking about this car for quite a while, so it seems like it's been a long time coming, this victory, but actually after its third event for a new car, having been developed from scratch, that's pretty incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good we're getting there. There's still a bit more to have out of the car yet. We'll develop as we go on through the year. It may get worse towards the new stuff we put in, and it may get better. But it's all quite exciting stuff, and like I say, the win, 3 events in, hopefully this is the players we means to go on.
And this is the one that everybody worries about, if anything, isn't it? The notorious one, the rough one.
Yeah, it's not. The rough's not too bad. It's more the rocks. It's so hard, the land. There's no giving it, and any mistake, any getting into the soft stuff, you're risking tyres for fun. Luckily, we've only had one punch, and it was on the last corner yesterday, which is a change for us, seeing as we had 6 last event. But it's good. It's good. I'm looking forward now to the rest of the year.
Well done. What a fantastic result. Enjoy that.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Coming up in this part of the show, we count down the top 10 most exciting drivers and cars in British rallying today, as voted for by the special stage viewers. With new talent joining experienced hands out on the stages, there are so many drivers that could have made this list. So here at Special Stage, we applaud you for making some tough decisions. Now, for the results. Here are the feet you most like to see dancing on those pedals. Kicking off our countdown in 10th place is Phil Collins in the Opel Ascona. Having driven a wide variety of cars in a career that has seen factory-backed campaigns, Phil Collins' attention is currently on his Ascona. And this historic car hasn't been without its problems, now seeming to find some reliability. Always a crowd pleaser, this car is a welcome break in the dominance of the Ford Escort at the top level of British historic rallying today. And in the hands of Phil, it certainly entertains the crowds. Phil might describe this car as a tractor, with its crude technology, or lack of it, and a millstone for turning those wheels, but you think he makes it look easy. And we'd have to agree. It's also a bit of a looker with those big square arches and distinctive colour scheme. Who says sideways isn't fast? With a limited programme of events this year, it is a testament to his flamboyant driving style that Joe Price makes this list. Remaining one of the most entertaining Escort drivers today, his ever sideways approach has earned him the reputation as a true crowd pleaser and puts him firmly in the number 9 spot in our countdown. But that sideways style isn't just all show. A string of good results shows that he is able to get the job done, whatever way he happens to be pointing those rear wheels. Some of those results coming against much more powerful and advanced machinery too. Of course, when you're on the limit all of the time, it doesn't always go to plan, and Joe has found this out to his disadvantage once or twice. Still, at least we know he's trying. A familiar face now to fans of Special Stage enters our countdown at number 8. Yes, it's Steve Simpson in the Subaru Impreza S12B. Competing at the top of the REIS MSA Asphalt Rally Championship in this modern and powerful world rally car means that entertaining driving is something that comes as standard. But for our viewers, it was Simpson's on-the-edge style that earned him a place in the Special Stage top 10. Normally driven fastest when kept neat and tidy, these advanced world rally cars often appear to be on rails. But in the hands of Simpson, it's another matter. The car often on the very brink of the road versus hedge debate, he fights with the best drivers the UK has to offer in the REIS MSA Asphalt Rally Championship. Simpson's surprise entry on the first event of the season ended in a convincing victory, and we have to make mention of his Concorde-like approach to taking the jumps on the Jim Clark. This is a man who knows how to win a rally, and his relaxed outward appearance is in stark contrast to the attacking style that has been the nemesis of many a tarmac rally driver so far in 2011.
K square right and 5 left long fast in and fast crest and 2 right. Well done, 2 right through clip. 40. 1 left to press timed at 2 left. 60. K square right, don't cut, blocks inside. 40. 2 left in, flat. In the pass junction, 100. All the way. 1 right flat, 200. 3 right long. Only 36 left. Only 36 left. 100. 4 right long. Into turn square right. Turn square right. Right. 150. Stay middle of press jump flat. 80. Square left. 80 now square left. 40. Turn square right. Don't cut. And the small press. 4 right fast. 150. With a bump. Middle of flat press bump 300, 2 right through dip, 130.
In at 7 in our countdown is young Scot David Bogie. This contender is at home in any car, from his regular championship contender the Mitsubishi Evo to the variety of cars he has competed in over the years. A highlight for Special Stage viewers came when Bogie switched between a modern-day Group N Evo and a Group B-derived Metro 6R4 on 2 consecutive rallies over the Jim Clark weekend, saw him returning home needing to find 2 new trophy spaces on that mantelpiece. His driving in any machine is always on the limit, and consistent pace has seen the Scottish Rally Championship success followed by success so far this season south of the border. David Bogie is always smiling, but then he's always winning, it would seem. Let's hope 7th place in the Special Stage countdown gives him something else to smile about this season. Sixth place in our countdown is one of a number of escorts in the top 10, which is no surprise as these cars are proven crowd favourites. But when you sit a driver like Nick Eliot behind the wheel, something special happens to those rear wheels. This man enters a historic rally with one goal in mind, and Eliot is no stranger to winning, joining the ranks of his fellow competitors who have all helped to make the historic rally scene popular with rally fans of all ages. Quiet and calculated in his demeanour, we'd like to tell you that his driving style is unassuming, but we're only at number 6 in the countdown and already there's a theme appearing. Number 5 in the special stage top 10 rally countdown is the second of our REIS MSA Asphalt Rally Championship regulars, Graham Coffey. No stranger to good results both here and in Germany, Graham can be seen competing in his ex-Peter Solberg Subaru Impreza World Rally car on a handful of the REIS Asphalt Championship events in 2011. His exploits on the rally scene in Europe have seen this red machine parked up alongside some of the biggest names in the sport, and you can even buy a scale model of Graham's Impreza. He may only be competing in selected rounds of the National Tarmac Series in 2011, but you voted Team Coffey into our top 10 for one simple reason. When he is competing, Graham is certainly not there to make up the numbers. Fourth in our countdown is Roger Hicks, someone our viewers have seen a lot of on events at Epint over the years. Known simply for his sideways driving style, it's no coincidence that the car's number plate spells Flick It. But this Scandinavian corner conquering isn't all for show, and Roger achieved some impressive results with this approach, the latest of which earned him a place on the special stage countdown, an incredible 13th overall on this year's Tour of Epint. Sadly, the car went sideways to the scrapyard, however, when it was destroyed in a recent accident. But we can reveal that the build of Flick It number 2 is already well underway. Another escort and another regular face from the special stage series in third place as we welcome Simon Major to the countdown. Although he's short, if you ever lose Simon, he'll usually be hanging around on the podium, shoehorning that Millington powered escort into giant killing positions somewhere between a World Rally car and, well, another World Rally car. With a handful of rally wins at clubman and national level, Simon recorded the first national win for a Mark II Escort in over 20 years with his victory on the 2010 Tyneside stages. Always on the limit, but rarely sideways, Simon is a master of precision, and he is yet to be beaten by another Mark II Escort driver. You can catch Simon Major on the remaining rounds of the REIS Asphalt Rally Championship in 2011, and judging by how high you voted him in this top 10, we figure you'll be watching. Runner-up in our top 10 countdown is yet another escort, this time the historic Mark II of Julian Reynolds. Often seen battling it out on British historic rounds with Nick Eliot, Reynolds is another driver to show that the best way to drive these cars is on the limit. And with a string of great results, who can argue with that? Certainly not the special stage viewers, it would seem. In car with Julian Reynolds will raise a grin on even the tightest-lipped rally fans, though we're sure it raises more than just a grin inside that cockpit. With occasional outings in a variety of machines, including World Rally cars, Reynolds always comes back to his trusty Mark II Escort. So on to the winner of our special stage Top 10 countdown, and a favourite with the spectators for many years now is the Peugeot Cosworth of Andy Burton. And in its final year of competition, this car and driver combination is proving to be almost unbeatable. With fans flocking from all ends of the globe to see this car in competition, it really has made its mark on the UK rally scene in a big way, and will be missed when this final season draws to its close. Always in constant development, the car has remained competitive even after such a long time of competing on the stages, and 2011 has proved to be its most reliable yet, with numerous wins on its way to a final assault on the BTRDA Rally Championship. This is one machine no one would begrudge at the top of the Special Stage Top 10 Rally Countdown, and we're sure your votes were split between car and driver.
Originally, it was born out of, this car was born, we used to sit in the workshop on boxes and put bars around, and that's where the gearbox goes and that's where the engine goes, and that's all we had to work with really. But since then, CAD design has come up, and my son Josh, who's 18, is very good at it. Everything is modelled in a computer. And then from the computer it goes to a CNC machine. The CNC machine then takes the information from the computer and at a solid lump of aluminium produces this lovely shaped item the same as in the computer. So that's how we did all the components for the new car that was going to happen, and it's been very interesting how to do all that. And then from those components they all get built up into this car. And it's basically all come from inside a computer, it's been very interesting. At its time, you've got to remember this car is 12 years old. At its time it was quite forward for a four-wheel drive car, but now it's sort of behind all the other four-wheel drive cars. So there was a lot of new things we tried on this that hadn't been tried before, which was quite exciting. But it's taken us a few years to sort it out. And most of it comes out of logic, really. And as the years go on, you learn not to do that and do that. And that's how this present car has been done, really. And it's not just me, of course. There's a group of people I have that came, and they do it for nothing. They come in the evenings, and we just have a good time doing it. Because I understand the car, how it works, that we can alter things to gain that bit, whereas it's nice being a driver and an engineer. But which side of it helps me the most, I don't know, and no one else knows. So I don't know whether the car is very good or I'm a good driver, I don't know. So. We ran across the road. building another car, and we sort of got halfway through it, but the MSA, which is the governing body, decided to change the rules, which is K37. So after 2012, I think, you're not allowed to run this sort of car, and the new car we're building was like this. So we stopped building, which is a shame really, because we put a lot of effort to where we've got, and now we've got a car that's half built.
Now sit back and enjoy a quick ride inside this iconic rally car. We chose the 2010 Woodpecker stages to play you out. Thanks for watching. See you next time on Special Stage.